So welcome everybody to our Kundalini and Mindfulness class. Start in a comfortable seat. I'm going to play the bowls for a moment, so allow the sound to help you ground, and just maybe close your eyes. And as you continue to center, I'm just going to read from the Pocket Thich Nhat Hanh book. And this is called Darkness Becomes Light. Observe the changes that take place in your mind under the light of awareness. Even your breathing changes with observing self, with your observing self. This is also true of your thoughts and feelings, which together with their effects are suddenly transformed. When you do not try to judge or suppress them, they become intertwined with the observing mind. From time to time, you may become restless, and the restlessness will not go away. At such times, just sit quietly, follow your breathing, smile a half smile, and shine your awareness on the restlessness. Don't judge it or try to destroy it or get rid of it, because this restlessness is you yourself. It is born, has some period of existence, and fades away quite naturally. Don't be in too big a hurry to find its source. Don't try too hard to make it disappear. Just illuminate it with the light of your awareness. You will see that little by little it will change, merge, become connected with you, the observer. Any psychological state you subject to this illumination will eventually soften and acquire the same nature as the observing mind. Throughout your meditation, keep the sun of your awareness shining, like the physical sun, which lights every leaf and every blade of grass. Our awareness lights our every thought and feeling, allowing us to recognize them, to be aware of their birth, duration, and dissolution without judging or evaluating, welcoming or banishing them. It is important that you do not consider awareness to be your ally, called on to suppress the enemies that are your unruly thoughts. I love that part. Do not turn your mind into a battlefield. Do not have a war there. For all your feelings, joy, sorrow, anger, hatred, are a part of yourself. Awareness is like an elder brother or sister, gentle and attentive, who is there to guide and enlighten. It is a tolerant and lucid presence, never violent or discriminating. It is there to recognize and identify thoughts and feelings, not to judge them as good or bad, or to place them into opposing camps in order to fight with each other. Opposition between good and bad is often compared to light and dark. But if we look at it in a different way, we will see that when light shines, darkness does not disappear. It doesn't leave, it merges with the light. It becomes the light. To meditate does not mean to fight with a problem. To meditate means to observe. Your smile proves it. It proves that you are being gentle with yourself, that the sun of awareness is shining in you, that you have control of your situation. You are yourself, and you have acquired some peace. It is this peace that makes a child love to be near you. So with that, just take a few moments to absorb. And then we'll tune in. Give your hands a rub. Chanting as mindfully as we can today. Draw your thumbs to your forehead center. Down to your heart. And we'll chant the mantras with one breath each today. So inhale to begin the Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om protective mantra. Start at your left side and go around. Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. Inhale. Hold. And as you exhale once more, let your hands relax down and just feel. Tune into yourself as the observer. Maybe still processing what I read. You can start to gently shake out your legs as you're ready. All right, so we're going to begin our warm-up, so you can just really make sure your legs are ready to get crossed again. And we'll start with our Sufi grind. So feel your feet and your sitting bones and just pick a direction. I usually go clockwise here. And just really feel into a sense of surrendering your body into your mat, to the floor. On your exhales, grounding down to Mother Earth, whatever that looks like for you. For me, I imagine roots going down, and sometimes also a beam of light, or like a lit up white cord going down into the center of the earth. Whatever gives you that intentionality of grounding. And letting just any tension go down that cord, any unnecessary focuses. And then change your direction and feel your inhales bringing Mother Earth energy up into your body from the base all the way to your crown. infusing the stabilizing energy all through your body. To me, the beginning of mindfulness is getting out of our heads and into our bodies. And any yoga practice, but I feel like especially a Kundalini Yoga practice is really great in cultivating this body awareness that just makes meditation easier. As you come back to center, inhale. Give yourself that moment to observe. And then we'll move into cat-cow, so you can find your way to your hands and knees. And then begin your cat-cow, just kind of waving through your spine. And at a pace that feels really good to you. And I usually like to open it up. If you feel inspired to move in a particular way, circle side to side, maybe back through child's pose and back up to hands and knees. Just really move in a way that you feel called to. If you want something a little more active, you could do rolling cobra from child's pose. Just slowly bring yourself to your belly and into cobra and press back. And that can be done on the forearms if you have wrist tenderness. You can move forwards to Sphinx pose and back to a kind of a half down dog with your hips over the knees. So take another movement or two that way and just settle into your child's pose, or lift to down dog and settle in there, making movements that feel good. And since this is a mindfulness class, just keep coming back to the sensations of your movements, the sensations of your body, as they're all like a gateway into your awareness and your observing self, observing mind. And then we'll get ready to walk the feet forwards and find a nice elongated spine from there, half lift. You can forward fold and sway a little bit. Feel very much rooted in your feet as you rise up to standing. Sweep your arms out and up. Lower down. And we'll move right into our sun salutes. We'll go at a steady pace today. So inhale, lift your arms and feel that coordination of your inhale, lifting up your arms. You could bend your knees as you dive forwards. Breathe to find some length in your spine. And as you breathe out, step your right leg back. This first round will stay low to the ground and just really feel each foot, each hand. And sink a little deeper on your next exhale. And then root into your hands to transition back lower to the floor. Find a back bend of your choice. Could be subtle or really exaggerated. And then back to your child's pose or down dog. See if you can listen for the sound of your breath. And even tune into some awakening of the muscles in your pelvic floor. On your next inhale from hands and knees or down dog, transition to your right leg coming forwards in between your hands. You could lift it, you could open up your hip, you could do a knee to nose or two, and then find your nice lunge on the other side. With your back knee up or down, just settle in. Start to feel sensations maybe in the front of your left hip. And then we can add a little back and forth if you'd like this time. If that feels good. Just awakening the back of the leg. Continuing that sense of being connected to the floor, to the earth below the floor. And when you're ready, step forwards, find length in your spine, forward fold, rise up to standing with that sense of rootedness. And putting kind of your own expression this round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. On your exhale, step your left leg back, and this time you might stay low, but you also might choose to lift your torso and experiment with your arms. Just letting your movements be very connected to your body, what your body's calling for, needing. Maybe you add some kind of a twist this time. Let the guidance come from deep within you of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Let it come from that observing self. And then when you're ready, transition back to your half or full plank and lower to the floor. Breathe in, open through your heart. Breathe out, child's pose or down dog. And then anything that helps you get your left leg, maybe you lift it and do a knee to nose. Maybe you come to the hands and knees and step your left foot forwards. And find those same sort of expressions you did on the other side. Just letting all of your movements be in the light of your awareness. You might add your twist. And remember, this time we're going to do that back and forth too. So make sure you eventually move into that so you're even on both sides. Opening the back of your leg. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we'll just step to the front of the mat. Lengthen your spine, forward fold. Make your way up to standing. On your inhale. Good. And then just take a moment. So the next sort of idea I wanted to put out there for today's class that is similar to what I read about today, but maybe slightly different, is the idea that if you think of the essence of this observing self we were talking about, think of it as a blue sky. And I get this idea from Andy Puddicombe, who does the Headspace app. He has this great analogy that I'm drawing from today, that our essence of our mind, this observing self, is the blue sky, and the clouds are what Thich Nhat Hanh mentioned as like the thoughts, the feelings. They're the clouds coming through. So this remembering that who we really are is a blue sky, these thoughts are just kind of passing through. They're temporary. They're not necessarily integral to the essence of who we are, can give us some peace. So that's kind of the other side of the coin from what I read to you with the darkness or light reading. So we're going to have a moment to sit and just check in before we move into the kriya for today. And this is where you might have something you want to share about one of the things I said or something I read, or maybe you want to share about your experience of the last week. And, sharing is never necessary. And you also, for some people, there are more typey people. So maybe you type it out and you can say, Ruby, only you read this, or Ruby, you can read this for me. That's fine too. So I will just share, I'll start off sharing that I thought it's interesting that Thich Nhat Hanh says that all those emotions and things like restlessness and those different emotions like joy, sorrow, anger are part of yourself. So to me, these two analogies are quite different. Like the passing clouds, it makes me think that those emotions aren't a part of me. So I think Thich Nhat Hanh's view is they're part of you because they're arising within your awareness. And then the blue sky and those things being the clouds, they're a little bit different. So anyways, I don't want to get into a rabbit hole, but I'm just having fun pondering those things. So anybody? Okay, maybe we're not having a sharing day. That's totally fine. So we can get going. I thought we might have time today to do a kriya. Actually, okay. I usually plan too much, so I think I will try to have us do it though. So we will do a very short times for the kriya we did last week that connects us to our center. It's the kriya to control your domain. We'll do that short. And then the kriya that I planned for today is the essence of Self Kriya. So we'll get right into that unless anyone else wants to say anything. Okay. Okay. So for the kriya to control our domain, we're going to be doing this breath in and out the mouth. You might want water nearby. And it's a breath that's, it's like a breath of fire, but out the mouth, pursed lips. And the first exercise are these leg lifts. So you can just go up and down with double legs, or you can bend your knees and then extend, something like this, or even just keep your knees bent and tap the floor. And we're only going to do that for about a minute. So root your low back down and take a moment to get ready because I have to wait for my timer to turn on. So you might just take a few resting breaths on your back and just kind of tune into maybe some pelvic tilts to find that aliveness. As you tuck your tailbone, you find that engagement in your belly. Okay. Great. And you can have your hands under your pelvis, and let's go ahead and begin. So we're doing the pursed lips, breath of fire, and begin lifting your legs. Good. Let your breath get powerful here. And as you're doing these exercises, you are the observing self, and you're observing the clouds, the thoughts coming up of like, oh, this is hard, or I don't really like this, or any of those thoughts. You're observing without judgment. Okay, almost there. And then you can lift up and inhale through your pursed lips. Hold it, squeeze, and then a slow exhale out your nose as you lower. Bend your knees if you need to. And just take a brief rest. If you need to, you can bend the knees and knock them in together. And just allow a brief sense of softening. Good. And then we'll go right to the next, which is the same kind of thing, but alternate leg lift. So you lift one leg and then the other. But feel the leg that's on the floor really grounding down to give you that sense of ease as you lift the other leg up. And same breath, so come back into your, and this breath is very cleansing. And today's class is all about finding that essence of ourself, the blue sky. So what I like about this first kriya is that it's teaching us how we can live from the center of our being, our domain, to project a thought or intention from the mind and be able to train the mind so that we can keep a thought and intention and be able to manifest it in the world. And in the body, what that looks like is we're able to circulate throughout the body, so we stay vital and warm. There's like a great amount of energy circulating from the center. All right, and then lift both legs up again. You can inhale through your nose or your mouth, hold it, squeeze your legs up, and then exhale down nice and slowly. Take your moment to rest, to maybe swallow. That kind of breathing sort of dries out the mouth. Okay, and then rock and roll yourself right on up. And again, we're kind of doing this kriya quite short, so it's almost like an extension of our warm-ups. So you can bring your knees onto a blanket, padding. If your wrists are sensitive, put your forearms on blocks. Otherwise, root into your hands. We'll get going on that same breath. In and out, purse lips, and then we'll just lift opposite legs. So right leg goes up to about hip height, and be mindful here that you're not really swooping your hips up. Try to keep your hips in line with one another, and you can go ahead and begin. Eyes can be, you might try eyes open this time and focus them towards the center of the front of your mat, but keep a natural curvature in your neck. And feel as you're doing this breath, there's like a connection to your low belly, this place where there's lots of nerve endings. It's they call it the dantian in Chinese medicine. It's really a place of being, it's really considered like the center of your body. In Kundalini Yoga, we call that the navel point, just an inch or so below the navel. Okay, nearly there. Keep your breath powerful, your movements fluid, smooth. Okay, and then you can come back to hands and knees. Inhale through your mouth or your nose. Take a brief rest, either child's pose or sitting on your heels. And we give ourselves this chance to notice. Feel for maintaining awareness in your body and just noticing the different sensations. With this idea of the blue sky, it's not like we're trying to effort and create the blue sky. Kind of like what Thich Nhat Hanh said, when you fight these thoughts or you fight the feelings and make them your enemy, it's just a lot of effort. It's a sense of allowing here. So find that for a moment. And then we're going on to the next, which is very similar. So you're lifting up your right leg, but your left arm as well. And we have a nice breath of, that same breath of fire out the mouth, okay? So when you're ready, go right into it. And feel how this movement, it's very much coming from your center. And if you lose that connection to your center, that space just below the navel, that can strain the low back. We kind of dump into the low back. So keep that connection to your center as you move. And even though this might feel a little wobbly, how smooth can your movements become? And you might need to slow down and notice how slowing down you can create that sense of engagement in the low belly, so you move with a sense of stability here. Almost done. Good. Good. And then pause, inhale maybe nose. Exhale, sit or child's pose. Finding a sense of space. Good. And we're going right into frog's pose now. So you can start off in a little squat with your heels touching or a little farther apart. You're on your fingertips. You can inhale, lift your hips, and exhale down. And having a block could be helpful. And if your knees are tender and that doesn't feel good, maybe don't go down as far, or just come standing and do our little, what I call moving chair pose instead. So you want to really take care of your knees in this one. And we're going to just go with powerful breaths. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower down. If you're doing frog's pose, your arms stay straight and you find just a comfortable distance. It's like your arms are helping you to balance. And if it doesn't feel good to lift your heels, just let your heels lower down. And this is a really great one to imagine that you're drawing energy up from Mother Earth through your fingers, through your feet. And then on the exhale, that energy goes and disperses into your body, into the higher centers, the heart, the throat, the head. Feel that way of dispersing energy with your breath. Let's just do like 4 more or so. Okay, good. And then next time you come up, big inhale, channel the energy up, and relax, forward fold. Good. Find a comfortable cross-legged seat when you're ready. Just even seeing if you can be mindful of these transitions. Okay. And again, you give yourself that moment. The observing self. The clouds are rising, but there's no judgment of the clouds. And then your arms come up. This next one, we have the arms straight up. Exhale them out to a V, 60 degrees, and inhale them back up. So it's very strong and powerful. Okay, so exhale, inhale. So I'll tell you about this one. This stimulates physically your heart, your circulatory system, your glandular system, and it works powerfully on the mental realm. It trains you to concentrate, to gain control of your mind, control over your domain. So try your best to not go all the way down or not to go halfway down, just go to that 60-degree mark and up to parallel. And that, like being specific that way in the movements is part of the giving you those specific benefits. And feel that these arm movements, strong, powerful arm movements, are coming from that stable center in your belly. So just a little bit more, like 15 more seconds. Let's go super strong. For me, I like to emphasize the exhale. And then the arms just sort of pop up on the inhale. Inhale up. Melt your shoulders, hug through the arms, find space between shoulders and ears, and then palms go down. Let your arms swoop down. Relax. Roll out anything you need. Neck, shoulders, just find any movements you need. And this kriya ends with a restorative pose. That's perfect segue to integrate, and then we'll move into the second set. So you can use any props you have to get comfortable to try to find a cross-legged laying down position. So you might need support under your knees, and then your hands cross over your heart. So for me, I can kind of do that comfortably, but maybe my hands aren't perfectly on top of each other. That's fine. But if you have, pillows or something, you could put pillows under your elbows, and it doesn't matter which hand's on top. So close your eyes, settle in. Great, and just tune in to your heart. And then you can start to straighten your legs and stretch. Hug your knees and roll to one side or roll back and forth as we shift into the second set, which is called the Kriya for the essence of self. And while you're just kind of bringing yourself back, I'm just going to read a little about it so you can take some time to integrate before we jump into the next thing. So this set guides our pranic life force through the body to the heart center, opening the heart so you can give and receive love without fear, anger, or resentment. The state of compassion is the essence of self. When feeling weighted down by the scars and disappointments of life, this Kriya will help you sense the broader reality of which you are a part. All possibilities open to you when you live from the essence of self. Physically, this releases tensions, strengthens digestion, and opens the lungs. Okay. All right, so first exercise, the arms are sort of at that V. They're a little bit to the front versus being straight up, so a little bit in front. And we're going to be doing a lot of breath of fire in the nose for this set. So breath of fire in the nose and circles, arm circles backwards. Yep, you got it. And then your eyes. It's not said exactly what your eyes are doing, so you can choose. Either they're open, if that helps you concentrate, or you can close them and look a little bit up. Root through your feet, sitting bones. Adjust this posture anytime you need to, though. Remember, your arms are, a little bit more forwards than straight up. So I'm going to show you the side view just so you can see that they're not straight up, which is actually a little bit easier than if they were straight up. Good. So strong breath. We're only going to do this for probably 1 more minute, so it's not too terribly long. Keep your breath of fire, and if you need to, you can go slower, but if you can, you go faster and you go bigger in the circles for the last minute. So this is really energetic. The faster your breath is, the more powerful the movements, the more you're stimulating your heart center and opening up your lungs. And again, you have that connection to your center, your belly. Okay, we're nearly there. Go bigger, faster, if you can. Only if you can. No pressure if you can't. Inhale up. Breathe it in. All the love to your heart. Draw it in. Bring it down, however you want. And relax. Maybe do any stretches you need after that one for your arms. And then really feel. Settle into yourself. And maybe adding this layer of awareness that the blue sky, who you are, this essence of yourself, that this also includes compassion. Notice how that feels to try that on. And that is sort of a key in this whole process of mindfulness. If we don't have the compassion piece, it can more easily be that war, that battle within ourselves that Thich Nhat Hanh mentioned. When we bring compassion into it, it softens. Okay, we're going to our bellies now for a rocking bow. So you may want a little bit of padding underneath. If you can, you're holding both feet and we're doing our breath of fire and rocking. That is very challenging, so you might just interlace the fingers or just hold one, and I'll let you know when we're halfway. So you can do it with one, you can do it with fingers interlaced. So let me start the timer. Before you begin, you might wiggle off the hips and just get that internal rotation of the thighs, inner thighs up. That'll set you up for this. Hold one or both, or interlace the fingers and begin your breath of fire. And if you can, create some sort of back and forth. Do that. It's just for a minute. We can do anything for a minute. For me, I get a little bit of knee pain, so I just choose to do one at a time for this today. Breath of fire in and out the nose. I almost want to go back to the mouth one that we did before. Okay, and we're halfway, so if you're doing one, switch. So we're massaging our internal organs, especially digestive organs. We're giving a full back bend for the whole spine, and with breath of fire, this invigorates us, stimulates the movement of energy to the heart. Last little bit. Good. Then getting back to your, maybe you hold both feet if you can. Inhale, lift up, and hold it. And relax. Totally relax for a moment, or shift to child's pose to give your low back a little love. Just giving yourself some space. And then just as with awareness, we'll switch over to our backs, and the next one is a rocking and rolling with breath of fire. So, and if rocking and rolling doesn't work, the movements can be small, or you can just relax your head down and go side to side. So that's sort of the gentle alternative. Otherwise, hold in front of your knees or behind your legs, breath of fire. Go back and forth. This is sort of a counter pose to the previous exercise, and it's that same rocking action to stimulate the spine and give your back a little massage and to integrate the energy that we're working with. And you might move a little bit to the right or left of your spine. Okay, great. And then the next time you come up, come all the way up and just give yourself that moment to settle. Maybe you've got a lot of energy in your head. Just let this ground down. I find it's really nice to do neck rolls in this moment. So it's okay to listen to your body and do a movement that might land for you. And notice how these little pauses we take between the exercises are a lovely opportunity to practice your mindfulness. To practice being the observer, which allows the clouds to possibly disperse a little bit so that you can feel the blue sky a little more fully. And again, I just find this process easier during a yoga class than if I'm just trying to take a break in my day. And when you're ready, we are going to have one more active pose, and then it's meditation time. So for this, we'll come to standing. So you might enjoy another down dog and just transition to standing, really in any way that feels good to you. And let this transition be, can you be just as mindful as you just were when you were sitting down in meditation as when you're transitioning up to standing? Notice what that's like. When you slowly get up to standing, you can just kind of shake things out. All right, so we're doing something called crow squats. I'll show you your range of options. So full thing, hands are on the top of your head, fingers interlace like this, and you'll exhale down. For some of us, we can come all the way down without lifting the heels. That's great, but if that's not the case, just come down part way, or maybe you alternate. If you can go all the way down, maybe sometimes you go down part way just so that you're not overstraining anything, okay? So we're gonna exhale down and inhale up. So find your focus with your eyes and just begin as you're ready. You have a lot of length in your spine. Good. This allows our pelvis to open and relax. If you need to do it without your hands on your head, then whatever you need. Powerful breaths. And notice, even in this little more challenging exercise, coordinate to your breath so this still becomes a moving meditation. Inhale up, exhale down, and use your breath to make this process a little less challenging, a little less uncomfortable. Knowing that this is hard, but it's temporary. We're going to get through it. We just have like 30 more seconds to go. Keep your belly engaged. And maybe do just 2 or 3 more. Inhale up and relax. Take a moment in standing just to scan your body, to feel your whole body alive. Alive with sensation. Okay. We're going to do our meditation first today. And we'll start with the hands on the heart, one hand over hand, and then anytime if you're like, okay, after 5 minutes you're done, you want to lay down, that is totally optional. For me, I'm going to get my chair, so you might want to get a chair. However you can be most comfortable. You can sit cross-legged, maybe you take back support, so however you can be most comfortable. Okay, so this is called the Essence of Self meditation. And just whatever hand feels right, hand over hand. So you just want that to feel comfortable. Okay. Just start to feel into your breaths, into your breathing. And naturally, you might find it helps to scan through your body. Keeping that metaphor of the blue sky, that you're not having to do any work to move the clouds away for the sky to be blue. The more you can tune into just sort of watching the sensations, watching your breath, the more you can experience that essence of yourself. And tuning into this sense of your heart being as part of this experience. So keep just sort of noticing. I'm just going to play some gentle background music while you continue to tune in to your experience. Keep noticing your sensations, the sounds. And as the thoughts or the feelings arise, see them as that cloud passing by, a temporary part of your experience. As you practice being the observer, and just notice how that might naturally change the clouds in your breath just by observing your breath, observing the thoughts without trying to change them. And your hands at your heart remind you This is about ease. Ease, not effort. Recognizing that the blue sky part of you is compassionate and peaceful. If you find it helpful to add counting, you can count inhale 1, exhale 1 up to 10. I personally like the backwards way, going from 10 to 1, and then you start over. And that can be an extra way to remember that you're meditating, that you're practicing, observing. When you lose your count, start at the number you started with, without judging yourself for losing your place. Keep allowing a sense of softness here as you let go of any struggling between your observing self and your your thoughts and feelings, the clouds. If you find that you would prefer to release your hands down, that's up to you. If you find that you would like to change your position, that is welcome. We'll keep going for at least another 7 minutes in this meditative awareness, but do adjust if you need to. Might start to notice how when you can really be in that place of observing, the thoughts and feelings that come up start to merge, intertwine. In perhaps a more positive way. Counting's helpful, stay with the counting, or maybe you notice that just noting the breath. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And find that half smile that might turn into a smile in your heart. We've moved, we've breathed, we've created an amazing foundation so that being in this mindful awareness is not a struggle, just a process of allowing, of unfolding. And for the last few minutes, just allowing a little more joy in this process, a little more heart energy, whatever that means to you. It might feel really good to imagine you're breathing in and out of your heart. Helpful, or if the restlessness comes up, you're welcome to scan your body. You might also explore breathing into different parts of your body. Letting go of little pockets of tension as you see them as they appear. Again, just when the thoughts come up, notice them without judging them. Come back to your focus, your breath, your sensations. And for the last minute, actually, let your mind do whatever it wants. beautiful. At this time, you can choose to lay down for a moment, or if you've been laying down the whole time, maybe you choose to sit for a moment. Take some time to come to your intention. Let it arise within you. Maybe it arises as a message from your blue sky self. An intention, a message that you can practice or embody in your normal life. One more time, scan lovingly through your body as though a certain color of light were moving through you, nourishing each part of you. Preparing yourself for wakefulness, as you deepen your breath. You could wiggle fingers, toes, and know that you're more than welcome to stay laying down if you just need more rest. If you'd like to come up and close, perhaps end with a little bit of sharing insights, that's totally optional. And just take your time, if you are coming up, to do a twist to each side to rub your hands and feet. And we'll tune out with Sat Nam 3 times. So if you're seated, and even if you're laying down, you can join us mentally or out loud. So if you're seated, sweep your arms out and up. Gather your hands in front of your heart. Connecting again to our group today. Those who are present, those who are tuning into the recording. And inhale to begin. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Inhale. And honoring this truth, this blue sky within us, within ourselves, within each other. Sat Nam. Great. And I will go ahead and stop the recording real quick.